How's it going, everyone? Hope everyone had a great weekend. Here we have a recap of the story so far from chapter 1 to 12 of the Thieves' Sons, and then we have chapter 13 as well. Anyways, let's get into it.
Reloading. Loading new mag.
Chapter 1. The Feast Preparations. Jalen moves through the desert capital, watching its rhythms and mapping its light. He hears the whisper of the suns for the first time, not in words, but in heat and pulse. He begins assembling what he needs. Forgeries, favors, rumors, and debts. His intent isn't greed. It's curiosity wrapped in defiance. Chapter 2. The Spark of Conspiracy. He begins to scout potential allies. The Locksmith, a disgraced artisan who once forged the cages. The Shadow, an assassin who can move unseen even beneath sacred mirrors. The Guide, a rhythm mage who can shift time's beat to open locked moments. Each is broken in their own way, and each tempted by the promise of power, gold, or redemption. Chapter 3. Testing the Recruits. Jalen secretly tests each of them. A stage betrayal, a planted trap, a false priest. Through these trials, he learns what they fear and what they value. They pass, but only barely. Trust is a word they each pronounce differently. Chapter 4. The First Gathering. He brings them all together in an abandoned cistern beneath the temple quarter. It's tense, dangerous, and magnetic. Meeting a predator's force a pretended alliance. The Sons whisper joins them. Faintly at first, then stronger, binding their thoughts like threads of light. By the end, they agree to the impossible. Steal a son from the tower itself. Chapter 5. The Plan. They lay out the architecture of the impossible heist. Phases of rhythm, mirror, and shadow. Each member's role is precise. Timing, silence, reflection. But as they study the maps, the sun's hum grows clearer. They are being watched, invited. Chapter 6. The Test Run. Before the true heist, Jalen leads them on a smaller mission. Infiltrating a lesser sun tower. They succeed, but not cleanly. The light they touch reacts, not as energy, but as consciousness. It learns their names. It remembers their touch. Chapter 7. The Gathering Storm. Back in the city, rumors spread. The priests begin tightening security. The people speak of omens, and the sons whisper louder. Jalen feels them inside his dreams. He wonders if they are guiding him or guiding themselves through him. Chapter 8. Rising Tension. The crew readies the main heist as the city grows feverish. The Sons' voices invade marketplaces, prayers, even the palace halls. Faith fractures. Light feels heavy. Jalen presses forward, not for gold anymore, but for truth. Chapter 9. The Heist. The plan begins flawlessly, until it doesn't. Inside the high crystal tower, the locksmith touches the caged sun. Instead of stealing it, she frees it. The crystal shatters. The sun escapes an explosion of radiance that burns and blinds the entire tower. Jalen and the others are thrown apart. The city wakes beneath a sky with one true sun and one wound of light. Chapter 10. The Aftermath. Jalen awakens in ruins. Half the tower is gone. The priests are panicked, and the locksmith is missing, perhaps consumed by the light. The Shadow and the Guide survive, scarred but alive. Whispers spread of divine punishment. The freed Sons' echo haunts the air. Jalen vows to uncover what the Sons truly are and what they want. Chapter 11. The Aftermath unfolds. The city begins to change. People touched by the light act strangely. Their eyes glow faintly. Their shadows lag. A new faith rises. The dawn unchained. Worshippers of the freed sun. Jalen, the Shadow, and the Guide regroup. The shards of the broken cage hum with direction, pointing downward into the desert's depths. Jalen decides to follow. Chapter 12. The Descent Beneath the Desert. The trio follows a trail of light through the desert to a hidden fissure, the root of the tower. They descend through ancient chambers carved in obsidian and bone, discovering the truth. The suns were not gods, but captives of darker, hollow lights. Humanity had stolen and chained fragments of them long ago. Now, the freed sun is calling its remnants home. At the final stair, Jalen hears a voice in the shard. Return us. He steps into the radiance. The others follow, and the desert swallows the dawn.
Watch the sky.
Switching mags.
Chapter 13. The Heart of Light. The stair ended in brilliance. It wasn't fire, not entirely. More radiance so dense it felt like air turned to glass. Each breath seared and soothed at once. The cavern that opened before them stretched wider than any cathedral. Its ceiling lost in the shimmer of suspended mirrors. Rivers of molten light ran to the stone like veins, feeding pillars of crystal that pulsed in rhythm with something vast and unseen. At the center of it all hung the heart. Not a sphere, but a storm of radiant memory, swirling with fragments of all the suns ever bound. It shifted through colors that had no name, casting shadows that flickered as if alive. The freed sun was here. They stopped at the edge of a ridge that overlooked the churning brilliance. The heat rose in waves, yet the air carried a chill beneath it. The paradox of living light. The shard in Jalen's hand pulsed harder, eager, almost trembling. The guide sank to one knee, awe on his burned face. It's singing! The shadow's voice came out tight. That's not song. That's language. Jalen closed his eyes. The hum pressed against his skull, forming shapes not made of sound but of understanding. It was not one voice. It was countless. The suns were speaking to the same light, their thoughts layered like glass. We were broken. We were divided. You carried our pieces into cages. You burned in our name. He gasped and stumbled. The light surged toward him, wrapping him in warmth that was almost a hand. You freed one of us. Will you free the rest? The cavern changed. The mirrors above rippled, and images appeared, scenes that cut through time. He saw deserts before towers, before temples, people huddled in darkness, starving in cold night. Then a burst of light. Ancient ancestors drawing fire from the sky, desperate and unknowing that the suns were alive. They forged the first cage to hold dawn itself, and the world thrived. But the suns remembered. The priests rose to guard the cages, claiming divinity over their captives. Generations passed. Light became worship, not warmth. Chains became holy. And now, the freed sun wanted to gather itself again. Return us. The world will be made whole. There will be no shadow, no hunger, no lie. The voice was honey and thunder. It promised perfection. The guide stumbled forward, eyes wide, tears cutting pale lines through the soot on his cheeks. Don't you feel it? It's mercy. If we free them, there'll be no more fear, no more night. The shadow caught his arm. And no more us. Her dagger reflected the light, but the reflection bent, curved, tried to pull the blade from her grip. A world without shadow burns everything that breathes. We'd vanish like smoke. Jalen said nothing. His mind roared with voices. Each shard of light a will, each memory a plea. He saw the locksmith's face, calm in that last instant before the cage broke. A door, she'd whispered. Not a theft. Maybe she'd seen this. He raised a shard, its glow spilling over his fingers. You said to return you. But where? To the sky? To the others still caged? The light swelled until the whole cavern trembled. There is nowhere. There is only what is. Unbind the towers. Break the mirrors. Let us be one again. The river of light below surged upward, striking the ridge. The guide fell to his knees, reaching into the glow like a supplicant. Please, he whispered, voice breaking. I can hear her. The one we freed, she's here. She forgives us. She... The shadow lunged and pulled him back, but the light caught his arm. It wrapped around him like a lover's embrace. When it let go, His skin shone faintly from within, his heartbeat flickering through his ribs like a lantern's flame. He was still breathing, but not entirely human anymore. Jalen stood between them, one hand out to each. To his left, the guide wept with joy, whispering hymns in a tongue he'd never known. To his right, the Shadow's dagger smoked in the heat, her eyes black with fury. The sun spoke again. You freed one. Free the rest. Let there be no more thieves, no more prisons, no more dark. The light offered freedom. The shadow offered warning. And Jalen felt the weight of both. He looked into the heart of light and saw, for the first time, what freedom would mean. Not peace, not rebirth, unmaking. If the suns rose unbound, they would burn the world clean and empty. He closed his fingers around the shard until it cracked, and the hum within turning to a scream that only he heard. Choose. The word echoed through every bone in his body. He whispered back, not yet, and then the cavern convulsed. The sun storm recoiled, furious and desperate. Light and shadow twisted together like claws. The ridge split, spilling molten brilliance into the lower halls. When the flare faded, the heart's light had dimmed, and the guide was gone, drawn into its radiance. Jalen and the shadow stood alone at the threshold of something divine, watching the world's first dawn tremble in its cage.
Switching mags. Switching mags. Loading new mag. 5 enemies slotted.
Inbound. Marking new safe zone.
Ended them. Loading new mag.
UAV is in control. Returning to base.
Loading new mag. $15 down already.
Enemy UAV is online.
TACOM, I need eyes overhead.
UAV available for tasking.
You're losing ground. Move it. All left.
Mission timeline expired. UAV exiting the AO.
Supply crates have been restocked. Load up.
Under fire. Switching mags.
Top 3. Don't let up now.
Reloading.
As always, thank you guys for watching, and let me know what you think with the story so far. Catch you guys tomorrow on the stream.